next question in terms of the Reggae Boyz stint that you got as assistant coach. After Schaefer left, you weren't given the opportunity to take over as the head coach. You want to elaborate on that stint as well as you being snubbed?
No, you see, first of all, it was a great opportunity. It's always a great opportunity to represent your country at whatever level. And I was privileged to be given the opportunity to be an assistant coach for the Reggae Boyz. During that time, I was able to. We won the Caribbean Cup in 2014. We became the first Caribbean team to go to the finals of the Gold Cup. You know, the World Cup qualifiers weren't good. We had a lot of challenges. And I hope, and it's more than football. In football, there's always two fields. The field you play on and off the field. And I believe that if certain things off the field could be fixed, because I remember we going to games and we played. I think it was Costa Rica, and we had, we sleeping in at the airport while going into a qualifiers. So there are many things that could have done from even our side, from the coaching standpoint to, it's football. And with a little bit of luck too, because that's very important in the football. But in order to get the luck, I believe that the environment is so important. You watch a Liverpool now, not playing well. So even when you watch him against Leicester City, some have chances that probably Salah would score. They're not, it's not me because overall, there's a little bit of tension in the
right.
So football, you need a lot of harmony and everything to be, working for you to, to be in a World Cup, to win championship and all of those things. So there's a lot of ingredients. But I was I'm honored to have worked with the Jamaican team. I was also the Olympics coach, and in my stint, we have gone the farthest. The Olympics team has ever gone. We should have done much better. Should have done much better. And I believe that off the field incidents also, anytime there's any failure with me, I blame myself first for anything. But when you think about we have a game against Cuba, a semi-final game against Cuba, in which once you win the semi-final, you automatically go to the CONCACAF for the last 8 or last 6. And I remember like a day before the match, it was announced that the per diem for the players, I won't say, I think the per diem first was like $50 US. And then for the round before, the players got $50 US for the per diem, sorry. And for the Haiti semi-final run, I remember the head of delegation saying to the players, "Look, you're getting 25 per diem." So the players basically, they wanted to strike.
Yes.
It was, believe me, it was rough because these are players who are playing in professional clubs and everything like that, and they reach a point in which they can advance the country in a sense and advance themselves too. And you're saying to them, "Look here, we're giving you 25 US. So they thought it was even not about the money, but they thought it was disrespectful.
Yeah, man, that sounds disrespectful.
Yeah, and I can understand this on me, and I can understand. I remember me and I think it was Coach Witt. Yeah, I know Coach Witt was the assistant coach, and we tried. I think Mr. Bell. We tried to talk to the players and look, it's your opportunity. But you could see it in the training session, the last training session before the match. Players just walking through and everything like that because they felt really disrespectful.
They weren't motivated.
Yeah, and then we had a game 12 o'clock in the hot sun on the AstroTurf in Haiti. And we went down. We were one love down. We came back in the second half and we lost the game 2-1. I think about the 85 minutes they scored against us, against the run of play. And that was but these are some of the things in which you have to back your players as much as possible. You have to back you have to back your players as much as possible. Where I blame myself is that these are some of the things that I have to find out before in terms of certain little things in terms of what is it per game, what is it for the players before, so I can have an heads up and I can advise or talk to the players from earlier in terms of preparing them mentally for the game, because football is it's so mental.
Yes, definitely. Now, coach, in terms of the current crop of Reggae Boyz and some of the players that are being looked at, do you believe that this team that we have can make it to the next World Cup, which would be in your country right now?
Well, I think so. We have a very good generation. And this generation is coming from, first of all, the 2011, the boys who went to the 2011, under 17 World Cup. So you have some players from that side, like the Romario Williams. So it's a very good generation of players, the lows and those players. So it's basically one of our, they talk about I think we had a 99 generation, like 2000 that went to the under 20, then we had another under 17. So it's a very good generation of players. The players that's playing, the overseas players are very good. They're doing very well in their clubs. You see a Bobby Reed.
Yes.
Recently not starting, but when he comes on, he's an impact player.
Yeah.
Bailey doing very well in Germany. You have the Lows playing, in I think now he's in Egypt. So we have a different players, and they're young too, and
Right.
that I believe is very very important. Going forward, and they have a lot of experience. I think they have the being in also in the B, the champion. I think the champions. They were in the B zone for the CONCACAF League, the CONCACAF. So that gave them a great opportunity to play a lot of local players too, because they were playing against lower ranked teams. So it gave a lot of chance to blend a lot of local players, to see them from early in those competitions. So therefore, at this point in time, they can really select the best players. Because we have seen a lot of many players. So I think, yeah. So I believe they have a very good team that can really be in the top two going to the World Cup, from top two to top three going to the World Cup, from the CONCACAF
region. All right, cool. Well said. Now, coach, follow up to that. There have been many talks about football development in Jamaica from the grassroots level. Some persons are saying coaches get paid to win, so they don't think about development. The Manning Cup window is too short when you look at development and all of that. There's no structure where a club would probably take a team, like adopt a school and so forth, or a few schools that possibly is not out in the media for persons to know if it is happening. So persons are saying a whole lot of stuff when it comes to football development in Jamaica. But coach, tell us, what do you perceive as one of the biggest hindrance or deterrent to football being developed in Jamaica?
Well, you see, first, what is important is a clear vision in terms of in terms of the football, and overall in terms of this overall structure. In terms of our football, there's a lot of emphasis on the Manning Cup. However, club football is so very important. You have normally, and even now, you have schools that runs through a club. So you have a Clarendon College that is close to a Portmore United. You will have a KC now that is close to Santos football. Sometimes they work through what's the name, Harborview. You have Woolmers that works through Cavaliers. Before it was Cavaliers working with a Calabar, and then Calabar with Benhaven, Manleys at one point with Waterhouse, and also with Medhaven at one point in time. So they've always, sometimes there have been collaboration with schools So in terms of schools and club, which is very important. So for example, for me, I've always wanted that mixture. So I have boys from Arnett Gardens and all of Tivoli Gardens, a different type of football. I've always liked that, playing their comfort zone. But however, I believe that first of all, the football needs a structure, a clear plan in terms of not only just the style of play, but in terms of the type of players that we want to develop.
Right.
What type of right back are we looking at? What type of striker will be best for us going forward? Do we want a tall striker? Do we want to be playing the striker in the leg? Do we want to be playing two strikers or wingers? Getting those, that having a clear structure in terms of what the program. And I think that must be driven by the JFF through the clubs, through the technical committee, to the technical directors, and but it needs finances too. So I believe corporate Jamaica has to come on board, has to really come on board, because at the end, when Jamaica succeeds, everybody will benefit. Everybody will benefit.
Certainly.
Also, I think we have to get out of the whole idea of football as just a social tool, to get kids off the road and
right.
We have to get, with we have a lot of clubs. We have a whole lot of clubs, and sometimes what happens when we have especially close clubs in close proximity, we sometimes diminish the quality in terms of maybe you will have, if you have 5 clubs, you have 5 solid clubs. You can get, but you have 20, and you have some very good players who are playing with players with not a high standard, and as a result, over a period of time, the player level goes down.
Right.
So we have to look at in terms of all of those things. I believe the youth program has to be developed in terms of competition. We have had just competition, but I believe sometimes some teams that falls out of maybe needs to play each other again. And I say this to say, like, for example, in the Manning Cup, when this happened, I didn't like it. But when I thought about it, I was saying, this is very good for development. When the Walker Cup became the competition for teams that were knocked out. What I mean by this is that so you have some players who would have finished playing in October. Now the Walker Cup, they can play in the Walker Cup. It gives them more opportunity and develop. And I believe also within the club level too, you have some players who they finish playing at first round. Our football must foster that, okay, maybe the top 3 go forward. Those in different zones who are in the top 3, they must play in a different competition. So those players also get a more time to play, more time to play, and as a result of that, develop. So there are a lot of things to be looked at, how we run our competition. Because we run competition just to, many times just to get a winner. Okay, and say, okay, hey, we'll finish our competition. Our competition must be earmarked in terms of development. What are we looking for? Are we looking for Jamaica to be scoring goals? So our competition must be geared in terms of, okay, maybe some incentives for who scored the most goal as a club, certain things. You understand? Because those will aid a lot of things from development, and that's something that we have to look at.
Well said there, coach. Some very solid and salient points there in on that matter of the issues that we face in Jamaica's football.